Hello, everybody. This is the 12:30 Rowdy Group on Wednesday. And this is our 1960s class. And today we're doing the Beatles. We are in book 366, Songs of the 1960s. And today we're doing A Hard Day's Night, which is on page 92. This one is going to be short and sweet, so it's not going to take the whole hour, guaranteed. There's not going to be that many changes. I am going to give you some suggestions, but you will learn one thing. I guarantee you will learn one thing, because I know there's something that very few of you know, and if you learn it, that'll be good. Okay, so what do we know about this? This is a song by the Beatles written by John Lennon. It was released on the film soundtrack of the same name. A Hard Day's Night was the name of the film. And that was in 1964. It was their first feature film. Their first feature film. And they did some very silly films. I can remember being a kid and watching them on Saturday afternoon, just laughing because they were so funny. But I loved the music. It was so ridiculous good. The song's title originated from something that Ringo Starr said. They were doing an all-day, they were working in the studio, and they worked all day, and they were recording all day, and all of a sudden it was all night too. And so he said, wow, well, this has been a hard day. And he looked outside and it was dark and he went, night. So Hard Day's Night kind of fit together. And so they used that as the song title. And John Lennon took off with it and wrote the song. And it's rock and roll, so it's going to be pretty cool. First thing we need to learn, where's the road map taking us? All right, so we're going to do verse 1. And there is a typo here. There is a typo as far as repeat signs. So we'll have to fill that in. It's been a hard day's night. I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night. I should be sleeping like a log. When I get home to you, I find the things that you do will make me feel all right. And at the bottom there, you have your first ending. And you have some repeat dots. Well, where the heck are those going back to? Not the very beginning, because your pickup notes are, you know I. It's been a. So you can't go back all the way to the beginning. You have to write in repeat dots. You see where the silly sign is? Right there on that very first measure line, you're going to have to put a thick line, a thin line, and dots that are facing the opposite way. I'll put it in the screen so you can see. Because you're going back to that part, not the very beginning. So that's a misprint. They did not print that in the book. So here we go. That's where you have to put it. See it? So you're going to go from there to there, right where the silly sign is. You got to write in your own repeat dots. Okay. Let's do the second verse. You know I work all day to get you money to buy things, and it's worth it just to hear you say you're going to give me everything. Ooh. So why I love to come home, 'cause when I get you alone, you know I'll be okay. Second ending. So right before that first ending, right where it says to coda, by the way, same spot, you're going to put a colorful 2. And if you want, you can put an arrow all the way up to the second ending, which starts the second page. Or you can just do green 2 goes to green 2, or whatever other color you're using. Now we have the bridge. When I'm home, everything seems to be right. When I'm home, feeling you holding me tight, tight. It's been a. Now you have 2 thin lines. 2 thin lines are the end of a section and some instructions. It says DS al coda. So now you want to go back to the silly sign, which happens to be the same place you went back to before. And now you're going to do the first verse again. So the first verse and the third verse are the same. Okay, so now to get another color, because you're going to do all of this again, the first verse, and when it gets to 2 coda, which is right before the first ending, you're going to jump across the page and do the ending. So it's pretty standard as far as song pattern. It's the first section again, A, A, B, A. A, B, A, standard song pattern. Questions about the roadmap? Nope? Okay, very cool. Let's do some chord changes. Here's where hopefully you will learn your one new thing, is the chords. Now it's rock and roll, and pretty much when you play rock and roll, you don't do a lot of weird stuff. As a matter of fact, rock and roll usually uses open chords, open fifths, and we'll talk about that. First line, no changes. Second line, no changes. Pretty easy standard stuff. One finger chords. Third line, no changes. Fourth line, no changes until you get to the first ending. Okay, why do I say that? You have a C chord. That should be pretty easy, right? But what is a C chord actually? C, E, G. And when you're on the single fingered, it's just C. But it's still playing C, E, and G. What are you playing in the right hand?
E flat.
E flat. Oh boy. So if you have C, E, G, and you play an E flat, ew, anybody else's ears bleeding right now? Yeah. So that's called a blue note, and a lot of times they'll flat the notes in the tune to give it some character. But you can't have C, E, and G. Usually in rock and roll, they will skip the E and only play what they call an open fifth, C and G. C and G. If you just play C and G, now you can play an E flat and it works because you're not clashing with that E flat. Okay, so how do you play that in easy play?
Well, how do you write it?
Could you play it as a C minor?
Nope, you do not play a C minor. Nope, it's a C major chord. Yeah, I knew I was going to get that question. You're going to write it as a, let me get a piece of paper here. C, where'd my pencil go? Ah,
This is the last line, last measure.
it's the first
So you're gonna
ending,
change out
correct.
the
The
C.
C in the
Okay.
first ending. You're going to write it like this. C,
third.
oh, thank you, but I C, no, 3. C, no, 3. C, no, 3. And when I show you how to play it, it will show up in the window as a C, no, 3. I'll bet you've never seen this one before, have you? Because what it is, it's a 1, 3, 5, but you're not playing the 3.
1, 5.
It still is a major chord. You can't play a minor chord. So you're going to play C, G, nope, and a C on top. If you just play C and G, it's going to just be C and it's still going to have that E in there. So if you play C, E, G, and C on top, so you have to spread the octave, C, G, C. Now, if you look in your window, it will say C, no, 3.
How are you going to do that?
You play C, G, and C at the top.
Okay.
You're going to
Are
spread
you
your
talking
fingers.
about a higher octave C?
Yes,
C, G, and then the next octave up C?
correct. C, G, and then the next C up.
Okay.
Dawn, can I make a comment?
Yeah.
The way
Do you wanna-
Marco does this is he makes the 3 in the left hand by making that E an E flat. So you still have that chord. It's either an augmented or diminished, one or the other.
Nope, it's not. No, because this is an open fifth. This is not a minor chord. You You can't put a C, you can't put the E flat in there because it will, the E flat's going to be in the
Out.
melody. But if you put the E flat, now all of a sudden you've got a C minor chord.
Okay.
Oh,
You can't do that. That's not what we want. This
All right,
is something
thank
you've
you.
probably never seen before.
That's a long stretch, John.
No,
It is. Most,
How do
but
you do that with your little
Oh.
hand?
I have the shortest fingers in the world and I can play it.
Really?
Okay.
Okay, C on the bottom, G with your pointer, and C at the top with your thumb.
I can do it. I can do
It's
it.
still a major chord, but now you can play that blue note on top, which is an E flat, and it's going to sound like a major chord with an E flat, but it's not going to clash.
Okay.
That's how rock and roll players, a lot of times, when they're strumming their chords, they're playing everything in open fifths, which means no third. They're not playing the third. And you can do that by doing the root, the fifth, and then put the root on top as well.
That's neat.
Okay, so if that's the one thing you learned today, you learned something new. The minute you put that E flat in there on the left hand, it becomes a minor chord. You don't want to do that. You want to leave it as a major chord with no third. So it doesn't matter if you play this or this. They both match.
Oh, okay.
I thought all the E flats sounded sort of strange.
Yeah, because if you're playing just a C chord, it's going to clash because you're getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you play the C no 3, it will sound right. Try it. All of a sudden
Okay.
you're going to go, "Oh, now it does sound okay."
So what fingers are you using?
Pinky on
One.
C. 1, 2. No, I'm sorry. 5 is your pinky. 2 is your pointer, and your
Yeah.
thumb is your 1. So 5, 2, 1. Stretch it out.
5, 2, 1. Okay.
5, 2, 1. C, G, C.
Okay.
Okay? So C, and it'll say in your window, C, no third. Yeah,
It
don't
does-
put the E flat in your left hand because it'll turn it into a minor chord. And you don't want that.
Oh, you're going that way.
So you don't play a C.
You're going to play a C, no 3.
Yeah, right. But
Uh-huh.
press-
If you play a regular C, it's going to sound, oh, but if you play the C no 3, it'll sound.
My muscle memory is having a hard time with it.
That it's a tough chord to play. It is a tough chord to play. But if you learn what it's that's how they strum their guitars, is they normally did not use the 3 so that they could put their blue notes in, and the flatted third is a blue note.
So
Very
does
cool.
the principle apply to other chords?
Yeah.
You could do what happened here? You could do a no 3 on any chord. If you do you could do a B flat no 3, you could do a D no 3. It's always going to be the root, the fifth, and then the root back on top.
John,
Yeah.
could you leave off the bottom C and just do GC?
Nope, because then it's going to be a C and it's going to play that E. You must play C, G, C.
Okay.
Okay? I know it's a harder chord to play. You won't find it very often, but there are some rock and roll songs that you will need it for.
Sometimes they used an F7 too over the E flat. So I don't know
An
if that's
F7?
F7 over the E flat.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that
several.
not where that C is.
No, not there,
Yeah.
but in other places they use the
Sure.
F7.
Uh-huh. But the F7 has its own purpose. Yeah. But you don't want to leave the F7 and you don't want to replace the C with the F7.
Okay, all right.
Okay? No, you don't want to do that because then it would be you're going to leave it on F7 and there's no resolving that. Go to the C no 3.
Okay. You know,
Yay.
I want to
Yeah.
thank you for that information. I have never, in all the years I've played, I've never heard the term blue note, but my daughter has.
Ah,
played-
okay.
Played in the band and she knew that. In
Yeah,
fact, she
see?
even heard songs played in church that where they didn't use that blue note, she picked up that it didn't harmonize well. And some
Uh-huh.
of the songs that I've played that weren't marked that way sounded bad, and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. And of course, I made that suggestion, and of course, it made it a minor chord. And it still didn't sound right.
Still
and I
didn't sound right.
fix
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
So thank
Yep.
you so much, boy. I really learned something.
See,
today.
if you learn one thing every time you come to class, yeah.
yeah, I never heard of the no 3.
Well, see, it's in your organ, so you know it's there. It did take me a while to figure out how to make it, and once I saw that the organ, I fiddled around, and then I saw, there it is. Okay, so then I knew how to make it. But you got to play it with C, G, C, and you got to stretch the octave. And it's a tough chord to play, but it will make it sound better. But even if you don't play it and you just play a regular C and it clashes, it's just for a second, and then you move on. So
Dawn,
don't
quick
worry
question.
about it too much, but you did learn something. Now,
Dawn.
you're also going to put that at the top of the second page, second ending. The very first C, you've got that E flat in the right hand. Make that C a C, no third, no 3. So C, G, C again.
Okay.
That's rock and roll. That's serious rock and roll. All right,
Dawn,
now,
question.
yeah.
Two questions. First part, is this sometimes known as a power chord?
Yes,
Okay.
that's very much known as a power chord.
Okay. There used to be a harmony that has fifths and thirds or something like that?
Fifths and fourths and fifths. Uh-huh.
Fourths and fifths. Okay. What's it called now? They
Um,
stopped using that term.
I think it's called rock harmony.
Okay, I'll look for that.
I think it's called rock harmony in the newer organs. It's called fourths and fifths. And yes, that's your power chord because it's a fifth here. It's a fifth from the C to the G, and it's a fourth from the G to the C. That's a power chord. Good one. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
We don't have to remember that, do we?
Yeah.
There will be a test. No, you don't have to remember that. Now, we'll probably need it for some other songs. If we do some more rock and roll songs, I'm sure there are. As a matter of fact, I remember in the VH1 rock book that we used in.
Yeah, I saw GDG or something. like
Yeah, there were several.
that. We only did
no
that a couple
threes.
times, just
Yeah.
2 times. maybe.
Yeah, very rarely are you going to see that. But those are guitar power chords. That's exactly what they are. Now, line 1 on the second page, second measure. Cross out the G chord and replace it with E minor. Elephant minor, which is E and G. It's the sister chord, but you want to make sure you play that as an E minor.
John, could you
How does
repeat
that
that?
sit with a C note? 3.
It's going to sound better. It's a
John, would you-
relative chord. So, if you play it with a G like it's written, it's okay, but it sounds better. Play that E minor chord.
John, I had an interruption. Would you say that again, please?
Yes, line 1 on page 93,
Mhm.
second measure. Cross out the G and replace it with E minor.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Second line, do the same thing. Cross out the G and replace it with an E minor. E and G. Third line, second measure. Cross out the D7 and replace it with F, fish. Let's go to the coda.
Where does that go?
Line 3 of the second page, second measure. Cross out the D7 and replace it with F. Feeling you holding me tight. Instead of
You said an F,
F, yeah.
like a fool.
Yep. The D7 doesn't sound bad, and the D7 is technically the lead-in chord for G, but so is F. So is F a lead-in chord for G. So the F
Okay.
is in the original. I have a Beatles book. I do.
Got it.
Piano book. And so
Thank you.
that's where I got all those chords from. I'm not making them up. All right, the coda. The coda, the very first C. Make that very first C a C, no 3. C, G, C. The second C is only a C. And then the third C, and again, it's wherever you have that E flat note in the right hand, make it a no 3. So in that coda, the first line, you're gonna have 2 C's with no 3s, and both of them have that E flat in the right hand.
Where do you want the second C note
The
three?
second C you just play C.
Oh, just play C.
Third C you play C no 3. The first C is a no 3. The second C, let's do it by chord. C, make it a no 3. The F is good. The C is good. The F7 is good. The next C, make it a no 3. The F is good. Let's go to the next line. The C is good. The F is good. The C is good for 2 counts. Beat 3, put a B flat, butterfly flat. And then the last measure, beat 1, you're going to make it a full measure, by the way. It's an incomplete measure, I know, but you're going to just make a full measure. Beat 1 is a C, beat 3 is a B flat, and you're going to put repeat dots around that last measure. So you're just going to go C, B flat, and fade out.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Anybody
Oh,
need
wait,
me to show it in the...
You're gonna put repeat dots, but where's the one that is in the front?
just on that last measure.
Oh, just on the measure.
Just on that last measure.
Okay, fine.
See?
Fine.
Just the C and the B flat, you're just going to keep repeating.
Oh, okay, fine.
And just repeat it and fade.
Okay. Oh, thank you. And fade.
Okay, so you learned something already. Because the song itself is actually pretty easy. Now, what kind of rhythms am I going to use on this? How about Fab 4? Fab 4, under rock and roll. That's, Fab 4. Who are they? That's the Beatles. And it's 144, 143, works real well. I am on the duet guitars, but you can actually keep the duet off to start. Yeah, keep your duet off to start. Let me go back to here. I'm using normal or rhythm preset or vintage number 2, which says 2 guitars. No, I'm not. What is it? Hold on. I'm using number 10.
Ooh.
Using number 10. It says duet guitars. But I'm turning my duet off to start.
Dawn, did you say the tempo was 140?
140 to 144, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't doing well.
Okay. Now, you can also use basic rock or rock 8-beat. And you can use an organ if you want. I just happen to like the guitar because that's part of the band. Rock and organ is fine. You can also use old-time rock, same speed. And you can use rock organ or guitars. Yep. And those are my 3 favorite choices. Now, for those of you that have smaller instruments, rock full band. Rock full band, absolutely. And you want to use your electric guitar if you're on a smaller instrument, or a country guitar. Now, what starts this song? Do you remember?
No chord.
No. When the Beatles played this, what started the song? Mr. Harrison playing a chord on his guitar.
Oh,
Yeah, what is it actually? It's a C11, but don't worry about what it is. I'll give you the notes if you want to play it.
Yeah, you gotta play it.
Let's take that duet off. Yeah, or you could play it down where you can play it in any place. And just strum it uphill. What are your notes? Write it in the margin, and if you want to play it, you can. On the bottom, C. On top of it, B flat, butterfly flat. D, dinosaur. F, fish. G, gorilla, and then top it with a C, chicken. And so what I'm doing is I'm playing C, B flat, and there's a long stretch. Then I'm playing the other 4 with my right hand.
Oh,
C, B flat, D, F, G, C. All right, now here's where you want to add a duet. Did I change some of the notes? Yeah, I did.
Dawn, where did you add that duet?
I added the duet as soon as you went up to the second ending, when I'm home.
Oh.
And then I left it on, and I should have made presets, but again, I had a concert last week. I didn't have time to do a lot of stuff. So if you wanted to set that up into 2 different presets, you could, so that you could just kick your foot instead of having to reach over and play that.
Dawn,
Yeah.
it's Michelle.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. I'm so excited by hearing you play that. I had to tell you, I love Beatles music, and you named that sucker. It's really good. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Thank you. This is
I love you guys in the class too.
it's the
Okay, bye-bye.
background. It's the organ does it all. I just play
Great.
the notes.
Thank you.
It's wonderful to hear your voice, Michelle. Okay, did you follow along? Okay, the roadmap's not that hard, but it does go quickly. So, you can slow it down in order to get your fingers going in the right spot. Absolutely.
Dawn, when you added the duet, did you keep it on for the
Yes.
rest of the song?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. And you could have gone to the lower keyboard for the second verse. I happened to start in 1 octave and change octaves. I could have gone to the lower keyboard. It's a synthesizer with a guitar, and it would have sounded just fine too. Now,
Dawn,
what notes did I change? Dottie, what notes did I change? Sounds like. Okay. All right. It's the line 3 of the first page.
Line 3, okay.
Okay. But when I get home to you. Now, the way it's written is fine. You could play it just the way it is. You can play it that way, but I don't think they sang it that way. I played it like this.
Yeah, that's not, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah, and it flows a little nicer and it's easier to play because you're playing one finger after the other instead of if you go up the line, the fingers flow and you can play it faster. Okay, so let's go to line 3, second measure, third beat. Cross out the C for the word but, and underneath it in the put an A on the second space. A on the second space. Cross out the next C over the word when and make it an A sharp or a sharp A, sharp alligators. Cross out the next C. It's going to be kind of hard to write because you're going to put it on that third line. Directly underneath that C, put a B butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so when you're going uphill, it's going to be A sharp, B, C, B, B
Sharp.
flat. You just ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's going to be the same notes, up as it is down. Now we're going to do the same thing for I find the things that you do. So third line, measure 4. The C over the word I, make it a B, cross it out and make it a B butterfly. And I know that's, you just kind of got to write it as close to the C as you can.
On the line.
It's on the third line, yeah. Uh-huh. And then the next C, keep it a C. Keep that C. Don't cross him out.
Shoot.
And the last C, make it a C sharp. So put a sharp in front of that C. So you're playing B,
Oh,
so it's going to be B, C, C sharp. And then the next line is D, D flat, C.
D,
The next line is exactly as written. So what you're
Okay,
changing,
okay.
you're only changing the I and the.
so we're just going A, B, C sharp, and C on the.
A, B, C, A, B, C, C
Sharp.
sharp.
Right, okay.
And then come back down, which is written there. Okay, so that all you're doing is you're climbing up, you're coming right back down. It's easier to play. You almost have to memorize it as a finger exercise.
why
You know,
did,
my hand doesn't move.
that sounds so much better.
Uh-huh.
So much better. Why didn't they just do that?
That's what I was thinking. That's so crazy.
They probably wrote it this way, the way it's. And when they sang it, it probably worked better because I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why I knew there was no problem because you played it the way you just corrected it.
It's going to be easier to play this way, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Yep. The hardest part is that C no 3, getting the C no 3 in the right spot.
Mhm.
Because it's
Oh,
so
Dawn?
counterintuitive for us to play an E flat and a C major chord, but if you leave the 3 out, it sounds.
Yeah, yeah. Could I ask you a question?
No.
Hey, wow, hey.
Go ahead.
Yeah, on the upper keyboard, left hand, starting at the bottom, the numbers or the notes were C, B flat, D.
Wait a minute, where are you? Where are you?
I'm starting out in the intro part, or that one clash. I don't know where you played
Oh,
it.
You
the
mean,
left
you
and
mean
right.
the chord in the beginning?
Yes, yes,
Oh, the chord at the beginning?
yes. And I put C, B flat,
C, B
D,
flat, D,
uh-huh.
F, G, C. From the
Okay, so
bottom up.
that's the high C and the low C.
Correct.
Okay,
But you got to play it with two hands.
correct. Yeah, that's
I
Did you-
copied that out of a book. I didn't make that chord up, by the way.
okay.
Dawn, did you roll that?
Yeah, because you want it to sound like the strum.
Okay. That's all on the top keyboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's all on the top keyboard.
Yep.
And that's just the start of the song, and then you know it's going to go fast. So if you need to get a perspective of how fast it's going to go, you might want to play a no chord to get your drums going so that at least you have an idea of how fast it's going to go.
That's a
Yeah.
good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea to do a no chord. in
Yeah,
the
just get those drums going so you know how fast. Otherwise, you're going to be guessing.
beginning. Yeah, and then when Bob is there, he'll say, hit it. That's what he did to me. He said, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this now. And he said, hit it.
Hit it!
Like, all right.
Yeah, this is just a really fun song to play. It's not
It
that
is.
hard, but it moves. It moves. Yeah. And if you get that no 3, all of a sudden your E flat's going to sound fine. And you put the blue note in, and all of a sudden, because you're playing that power chord, yes, Robert, it is a power chord. It'll sound.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm? Yep. So if that's the only thing you learned today, cool.
That's good. No, that's good.
It's not
Very
any
cool.
chord progression book that I have.
Uh-huh. Is that in your chord progression book?
No, I said it's not in any
Oh,
Chord
that's, yeah.
progression book. I have 3 books, but it's not in any of them.
Oh, okay. But it's in the organ.
Hopefully my little discovery will not choke on it.
I think your discovery's going to be fine with it. Now, here's the problem, Tom. When you play that C no 3 on your discovery, if you add that C, that's going to be going over the line because your split is between the B and the C. You're going to have to do one of 2 things. I don't know. I don't think you can change the split on that.
Yeah, you can't change the split of mine.
Okay, so what you're going to
I've
have to
already
do is you're
tried.
going to have to play it down here. You're going to have to play all your chords down here. It'll be easier for this song.
Okay, yeah, I'll try it.
Because you can't play it here because it'll still be a C chord, and then you're going to grab that melody note because it splits right there. So you're going to have to play all your chords down the octave.
Dawn, did you do Fab 4 number 10?
Yep, that's what I did, and then I took the duet off to start.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, what you could do is just leave the duet on and start on the lower keyboard. Because that sounds good too. And Tom, you notice I got my hand all the way down here so that I don't run into the chords.
Yeah. If I start on the lower octave of the C, it'll probably work.
No, you can't take that top C off or it's going to be a regular C.
No, I'm saying if I started at the very bottom of
Yes.
my keyboard.
That's what you have to
Yes,
do.
C.
You have to move your hand all the way to the bottom. Play all your chords down there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Then when you get to that C no 3, it'll be fine.
Okay. We'll
Yep.
try it.
It'll be fine.
Dawn, a question?
Yeah.
On the opening chord, is the second note a butterfly or a dinosaur? Right.
It's a butterfly flat.
Okay, so you're going
C,
Down,
butterfly
down,
flat, D, dinosaur, F, fish,
Who the heck are you?
G, gorilla, C, chicken.
got it, thank you.
Now, when I played it down here, it came up with C11.
Oh, I know.
So it's C11. But it just sounds cool to play it on the upper keyboard.
Yeah,
And
I
it
like
just-
that.
And yeah, if you're actually using number 10, instead of having to take duet off and add duet, you could just play down here for the first verse. And then when you get, and the second verse too, and when you get to the bridge, when I'm home, just put your hand on the top and then finish the song on the top keyboard with a duet. That'll work too. Then you don't have to worry about making an extra preset.
Oh,
That'll work.
that's true.
That'll work. Yep. Very cool.
Dawn,
Yeah.
Hi, this is Susie. I have a question.
Okay.
When did you change to your octave? When did you change your octave? You said
I changed the octave. If you're going to play it all on the top keyboard, take your duet off, start in the regular octave. And then the second time, when you go up the octave.
and finish it through that.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, so you're saying the second time play at 8 VA?
Yep. Yep. And then you have to put that duet on for here. So if you don't want to do that, play it on the bottom keyboard, but then you can't do the octave because you don't have enough keys to do that. So then you just play it in the same spot. So, pick and choose. Pretty easy stuff.
Thank you.
Fun song.
Yeah, it
Fun song. It really is a fun one to play.
Can you play it again?
Sure, I
Thank you.
can. I think I will do that. Just leave this on the bottom. Just leave that on the bottom for the first 2 times this time, just so I don't have to change anything. And we're going to do this. Goes fast. It really does go fast. Yeah.
cool.
But it is fun to play. It really is fun to play. Because your chords aren't that hard. Your hardest one is to get that C no 3 in there so that your E flat sounds good. Yeah. All right, I do have fingering for you as well. And next week, I think we've decided we're going to skip Hey Joe and Hey Jude. Hey Jude we have done countless times, and it should be on Patreon someplace. All right, now I Get Around. Ooh, we get to do more Beach Boys stuff. We will do I Get Around
Okay,
next time.
I get around.
All right, very cool. This is a fun book. Having a good
We are
time.
not, we're not gonna do Hey Jude, we're going
Nope.
to.
Nope,
Get-
it's on Patreon someplace. We've done it so many times.
Right. we
Yeah.
have.
Yep. Okay, so
Dawn, before I
fingering.
forget, how is
Pardon?
Robert?
Go ahead.
How is Robert?
Robert is home. He's recovering. He had his first meeting with us today because he doesn't want us to forget who's in charge.
Yeah. What happened to him? Did he get sick?
Yeah.
Or what?
He had a heart attack.
Oh my God.
Mhm. Yeah.
Holy cow. Is he doing
He
okay?
has
Yeah,
to
he's at
learn
home
the word
recovering. He's fine.
delegate.
Yeah, he's at
Oh.
home recovering.
He's only about 47, isn't he?
No, he's 52.
Wow.
52.
Young.
That's still awfully young.
Yes.
It is.
Mhm.
Sure
Wow.
is.
You know what that tells us?
Yeah.
Live every day.
Exactly.
Live
Yeah,
your
delegate,
best life every
delegate.
day. Because you
Wow.
never know.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
That's
no,
what
he's
happened.
recovering. He's doing fine, and he was there to tell us today, I'm still the boss. I was like, Robert, I just emailed him back, and I said, don't you dare overdo it.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
My
Does he
goodness.
belong to the Zipper Club now?
They had to put a balloon in.
Mhm.
I don't know
Oh,
how much
yes.
surgery he had. I honestly don't know.
Stent.
Like
Yes.
an
Yeah.
angioplasty.
So I don't know all the details. All I know is he had a major heart attack, and he's home, and he's recovering. He's going to be absolutely fine.
Angioplasty he had.
Angioplastic, yeah.
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 That's what happened to my husband when he was 40. He
Oh my
didn't
God.
make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't make it, and I had 5 little kids.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you never know. When it's your time, it's your time. So live every day. Play music and enjoy your life.
Right. Right.
Get
Exactly.
some help.
Right.
Wow.
All right, I've got fingering for those of you that need it. You guys are fabulous. I absolutely love this class. You guys are the bestest. So for those who don't need fingering, thanks for coming. We'll see
Thank you,
you
Dawn, for everything.
Friday, or we'll see you next week. Yep.
Yep.
And yes,
Okay.
I'm having class Monday, even though it's a Monday holiday. And yes, I'm having class July 4th. And thank you for all you guys' patience for me canceling my class yesterday. But sales trumps classes, unfortunately. So I can't be everywhere at one time. I try.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you, Dawn.
You guys are awesome. The rest of you, get your pencils out. Let's go.
Pencils ready.
F2, F2. G3, 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 G3. F2, G3, B flat 5, G3, F2. Second line, G3, F2, E1, E1, F2, E1. G3, 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 G3. F2. See, it's not hard. It's not a hard song to play. You play it the way you remember it being sung. G3, B flat 5, G3, F2. G3, F2, E1. Check mark. Now, here's the notes we wrote in. A is 1. A sharp is 2. B, 3. The notes that are printed there. C is 4. B is 3. B flat is 2. A is 1. The note we wrote in, B is 2. The C that's printed there is 3. The C sharp that we wrote in is 4. Next line, the D that's there is 5. D flat is 4. And the C is 3. B is 2. So you're just going up, your hand will stay in one spot.
Mhm.
And if you just practice that little section, your fingers will just go, yep, that flows, that's good. The low E is a 1, F2, E1, G4, C1, E flat 2, F3, E flat 2. Check mark, or you don't really need a check mark. E is going to be a 1. If you want, you can circle it because it is a little bit of a thumb tuck. F2, E1. Go to the second ending, E flat 3. Check mark if you wish, G1, C4, B3. C4, B3, A2, A2, B3, C4. Second line, B3. G1, B3, C4. Third line, C4, B3, A2, A2, B3, C4, D5, D5. Then you're going to go back to the beginning, E1, F2, E1. Let's do the coda. E flat 2, E3, that's going to change up from what you were used to doing, F4, E3, G5, C1. E flat 2, F4, E flat 2. E3, F4, E3. Last line, G5, G5, G5. And that's it.
Could I ask you a question going back to the third line, page 92, where you
Uh-huh.
added those? That A1 is what, is that key one? A1 is that we added, is 1,
We added that, yes.
and the A sharp is,
2,
okay,
and the B is a 3,
okay,
C is 4, and then you come right back down to the same keys. B is
Okay.
3, B flat, which is the same as A sharp, is a 2. So
okay.
instead of trying to read all your crossouts and letters, try to memorize that little section. Because it's just chromatic. It's chromatic up and down. Chromatic means you're using every note black and white. So do it as a little finger exercise.
Okay, yeah, 1, 2,
And just memorize that little spot.
1, 2, 3, okay.
See how nice and smooth your fingers flow?
Right,
And that's going to be a lot easier than going. It just smooths it right out.
John, when you did the intro, you did in your left hand C and B flat.
No. Yeah, oh yes, but it's on your upper keyboard. It's not down
Right,
here.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I know. Yeah, and then the top one is D, F, G, C on your right hand. on the-
Correct.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
okay.
Yep.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
I have a
it.
question in the chat. What notes would be for a C suspended fourth chord? C, F, and G. C, F, and G. All at the same time. But we don't have
Thanks,
any of
Doug.
those in. We don't have any of those in here.
I know. I asked for another song. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, C,
Thanks.
F, and G at the same time. And if you look in the window, it says C sus.
With a force.
It just says C sus. It won't say C
Okay.
sus 4. It's going to say C sus.
Okay.
If it's a C sus 2, it's actually going to read add 9. Usually your sus's are 4s. Every now and then you'll get a piece of music that says C sus 2, and that's an add 9 on the Lowrys. On the Lowrys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else have any questions before we say goodbye?
No, this is fun.
This is a fun class, fun song. Really
Fun.
fun song. You guys will have a blast playing this one. You don't have to play it up to speed when you first get it started. Slow it down. Take it apart in sections so that you can get each section going. But the chords aren't hard. The notes aren't hard. And you play it with attitude, and you play it the way you're like, ooh, I'm in the Beatles. Like you're actually in the band, and you play it with a little bit of attitude, and you go, yeah, this is fun. You guys are the best. You are. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to go to your favorite PA at your favorite store. Do not hesitate to call me or email me. I do my best to answer all the emails. I do get busy here, but I do my best to make sure that the emails get answered. And it is our 118th birthday for the rest of the month. So guess what happens when we turn 118? Sales, sales. So take advantage of that fact. And if you were ever thinking you may want to upgrade to something newer, nicer, bigger, better, lots more stuff, now's the time. So again, contact your favorite PA and say, hey, Dawn says I'm supposed to buy something because you got some great sales going on. Yeah. Right, Mr. Kelly?
Yeah.
You guys are great.